Shannon has shown us he's a pathetic, ridiculous man. You don't.
Yes, we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public.
The sports world is reeling, rocked by an unexpected turn that has left fans stunned and a broadcasting icon stepping into the shadows. A firestorm has erupted, casting a long, uncertain shadow over the future of one of the most recognizable voices in media today. Prepare yourselves because the news hitting the wires is seismic. Shannon Sharpe, the gridiron legend whose second act in broadcasting has seen his star rise to unprecedented heights, finds himself at the center of a storm unlike any he faced on the football field. Recent developments have brought a stunning pause to his soaring media career, sending shockwaves through the industry and leaving his legions of followers grappling with the implications. This isn't just another headline. It's a major unfolding story that touches on serious allegations and the immediate future of a man who has become a daily fixture for millions. The air is thick with speculation, the details are emerging, and the impact is undeniable. We are witnessing a moment that could redefine his public trajectory, a moment that demands attention and understanding of the complex situation at hand. It's a story that unfolded rapidly, catching many by surprise, and its repercussions are still being assessed across the sports and entertainment landscape. The man known for his passionate takes, his infectious energy, and his Hall of Fame pedigree is now navigating a profoundly challenging personal and professional chapter 1 that has forced him to make a significant, albeit temporary, retreat from the spotlight he so recently commanded. This isn't just a temporary setback. It's a fundamental challenge that will test his resilience and reshape the narrative surrounding his highly successful post-playing career. The journey from the cheers of the stadium to the intense scrutiny of a public legal battle is a stark and dramatic one, highlighting the pressures and vulnerabilities that even the biggest stars face away from the cameras and microphones. His voice, usually so prevalent across various platforms, has become more measured, more focused on addressing the gravity of the situation he now confronts head-on. The core of the current situation revolves around a civil lawsuit filed against Shannon Sharpe in a Nevada court. This isn't a criminal case brought by the state.
So it appears the truth is that Shannon Sharpe essentially quit before he was fired. He wanted to avoid people kind of laughing at him or saying he was fired, and also kind of have a little more control over his own destiny. But this was likely they were going to say to him, look, it's been too much. You were caught in the act on Instagram by accident. Now we've got these messages. We don't know how much more she has. We kind of want to save ourselves the embarrassment of any more things that are happening. Whether or not Sharpe returns to First Take in subsequent weeks is TBD, but also whether or not he returns at all is TBD.
But a civil action initiated by an individual seeking monetary damages. The lawsuit levels serious allegations against Sharpe, including claims of sexual assault, battery, and the infliction of emotional distress. The plaintiff in the case is identified in court documents only as Jane Doe, a measure often taken to protect the identity of individuals making such sensitive claims. The lawsuit paints a picture of a relationship that the plaintiff alleges turned deeply troubling. According to the court filing, the relationship between Sharpe and the plaintiff spanned nearly 2 years, reportedly beginning in 2023. At that time, the plaintiff states she was 20 years old. The filing details specific alleged incidents, including claims of sexual assault occurring in October 2024 and again in January 2025. Beyond these specific allegations, the lawsuit reportedly describes a broader pattern of alleged behavior during the relationship, characterized by coercion and abuse. The financial stakes are incredibly high, with the lawsuit seeking a staggering $50 million in damages. This substantial figure underscores the severity of the claims being made and the significant impact the plaintiff alleges the relationship and the purported incidents have had on her life. The filing of such a high-value lawsuit immediately draws considerable attention, signaling the plaintiff's legal team's intent to pursue the case vigorously and highlighting the potential financial exposure faced by the defendant. The details within the lawsuit, as reported by various media outlets, are graphic and disturbing, presenting a narrative that stands in stark contrast to the public persona Sharpe has cultivated over his years in the media. The legal documents lay out a timeline and the specific instances that the plaintiff claims constitute the basis for her legal action. providing a detailed account of her allegations against the former NFL star. The legal process for a civil lawsuit of this magnitude can be lengthy and complex, involving discovery, potential settlement negotiations, and possibly a trial if an agreement cannot be reached. In the wake of the lawsuit becoming public, Shannon Sharpe has issued strong denials of the allegations. He has pushed back firmly against the claims made in the civil filing, stating unequivocally that the relationship in question...
I'm not going to hang up on you.
Don't manipulate me.
Oh, no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into
entirely consensual. Sharpe has characterized the lawsuit as a malicious attempt to extort money from him, labeling it a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down him for millions. Defense has been robust and immediate, with his legal team reportedly releasing information, including text messages, which they argue demonstrate the consensual nature of the relationship and contradict the plaintiff's narrative. This public counteroffensive is a common tactic in high-profile civil cases where managing public perception can be almost as crucial as the legal arguments themselves. By releasing communication, Sharpe's team aims to cast doubt on the plaintiff's claims and paint a different picture of the interactions between the two individuals. However, the interpretation and admissibility of such evidence will ultimately be matters for the court to decide. The exchange of statements and information between both sides underscores the contentious nature of the legal battle that is now underway. Sharpe's position, as articulated through his statements and those of his representatives, is one of a wronged individual being targeted with false accusations for financial gain. This sets the stage for a legal showdown where the central dispute will be the truth of what transpired during the alleged relationship. The gravity of the allegations means that even with a strong denial, the very existence of the lawsuit creates significant challenges for Sharpe, both legally and in the court of public opinion. The immediate and most tangible consequence of the lawsuit on Shannon Sharpe's career has been his decision to temporarily step away from his broadcasting duties at ESPN. Sharpe is a key contributor to ESPN's popular morning debate show, First Take, where he engages in lively discussions on sports topics alongside Stephen A. Smith and others. His addition to First Take after his departure from FS1's Undisputed was widely seen as a major move, bolstering the show's ratings and bringing his unique perspective and personality to a broader audience. He also hosts his own successful podcast, Club Shay Shay, and the YouTube show Nightcap, further expanding his media footprint. However, the weight of the civil lawsuit prompted him to announce a hiatus from his on-air responsibilities at ESPN. In a statement shared publicly, Sharpe explained his decision, indicating that he would...
Shannon Sharpe is selling his house because Gabriela Zuniga cheated on him in it. Shannon Sharpe, a legendary NFL champion and one of the most influential sports commentators in America, was in a relationship with Gabriela Zuniga, an influencer and OnlyFans star, 35 years his junior. Many suspected their relationship was based on convenience, that Gabriela was only with him for the money. But Shannon believed in their love, and that made it even more dangerous. Despite warnings from those around him, he only started getting suspicious over time. He noticed Gabriela constantly texting other men, especially when he was out of town filming podcasts or appearing on shows. Neighbors even told him that some guy was visiting the house when he wasn't home. That's when he installed security cameras. And then, it all became clear. One day, while he was at the studio, he checked the live surveillance footage. He saw Gabriela open the door, hug, and kiss another man, then bring him inside. Shannon immediately stopped filming and rushed home. Chaos broke out. He told her it was over and that she had to leave, but instead of walking away, she accused him of abuse. She seized the moment to destroy him publicly. Today, Shannon is selling the house where he was betrayed for 23 million euros, and everyone's wondering, was the love...
would be taking time away to focus on his family and to address the allegations made against him. He explicitly stated that this step away is temporary, with the intention of returning to ESPN at the commencement of the NFL preseason, which typically begins in August. This timeframe suggests he anticipates the initial stages of dealing with the lawsuit will require his full attention away from the demands of daily national television. His departure, even if temporary, leaves a noticeable void on First Take and highlights the seriousness with which both Sharpe and ESPN are treating the situation. For ESPN, the decision aligns with how networks often handle on-air talent facing significant legal legal issues, allowing the individual to focus on their personal matters while also navigating the potential public relations impact on the network. Sharpe's statement conveyed a sense of needing to devote his energy to confronting the legal challenge directly, removing himself from the daily grind of sports commentary to do so. He also expressed gratitude for the support he has received from his family, fans, friends, and colleagues during this difficult time. The context of Shannon Sharpe's media career adds another layer to this story. After a stellar NFL career that saw him win multiple Super Bowls and earn enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Sharpe successfully transitioned into sports broadcasting. His tenure on CBS's The NFL Today solidified his place as a knowledgeable and engaging analyst. However, it was his pairing with Skip Bayless on Skip and Shannon Undisputed that truly launched him into the stratosphere of sports debate television. Their dynamic, characterized by sharp disagreements and passionate arguments, captivated audiences and made Sharpe a national television star in his own right. His departure from Undisputed in 2023 was a major story in itself, sparking widespread speculation about his next move. His subsequent landing at ESPN, particularly his prominent role on First Take, was seen as a significant acquisition for the network and a testament to his continued popularity and influence. Alongside his television work, his Club Shay Shay podcast has garnered immense popularity, featuring candid interviews with a wide range of guests from the sports, entertainment, and business worlds.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Multifaceted media empire means that the legal challenges he now faces have repercussions across multiple platforms and business ventures. His temporary absence from ESPN, while significant, does not necessarily impact his independently produced content like his podcasts, though the public perception shaped by the lawsuit could affect all aspects of his brand. The success he has achieved in the media landscape is a testament to his charisma, his ability to connect with audiences, and his willingness to offer strong opinions, traits that have made him a compelling figure. Now, that same public visibility means that the legal issues he is confronting are playing out on a very public stage, under intense scrutiny from fans, the media, and the public at large. The contrast between the often boisterous and confident persona he exhibits on air and the serious and somber nature of the legal allegations he is facing is stark. The lawsuit itself is a complex legal document reportedly detailing specific dates, locations, and actions that form the basis of the plaintiff's claims. While initial reports provide a summary of the allegations, the full scope of the claims and the evidence presented by both sides will be revealed as the legal process unfolds. Civil lawsuits of this nature can involve extensive discovery periods where both parties exchange information, conduct depositions, and gather evidence. The plaintiff will need to present evidence to support her claims of assault, battery, and emotional distress, demonstrating to the court that Sharpe's alleged actions caused her harm. Conversely, Sharpe's legal team will work to defend him against the allegations, presenting their own evidence and arguments to refute the claims and support his assertion that the relationship was consensual and that the lawsuit is without merit. The release of alleged text messages by Sharpe's side is an early indicator of the types of evidence that may be central to the case. Proving or disproving the nature of a relationship and the occurrence of specific incidents often relies on witness testimony, communications, and other circumstantial evidence. The legal standard in a civil case is a preponderance of the evidence, meaning the plaintiff must convince the court that her claims are more likely true than not, a lower standard of proof than the beyond.
Let's get to the latest news, and it's involving Mr. Shannon Sharpe, who announced yesterday that he would be stepping away from ESPN and ESPN's First Take, my daytime job, at least until the NFL preseason, sometime later on this summer. As you may recall, a lawsuit was filed against Shannon on Sunday by a woman using the name Jane Doe, or using a Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada alleged that Shannon Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery. Shannon and his attorneys responded with evidence of the relationship being, quote unquote, consensual. And Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, responded by releasing audio of an alleged conversation between his client and Shannon. For those that don't know, Tony Busby is the same attorney that filed the lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy, alleging they both sexually assaulted a minor, which has since been withdrawn. Jay-Z has now countered
reasonable doubt required in criminal cases. The process can be emotionally and financially draining for all parties involved, and the public nature of the defendant adds another layer of pressure. Settlement. Negotiations are common in civil lawsuits, as both parties may prefer to reach an agreement outside of court to avoid the uncertainty and expense of a trial. However, given the significant amount of damages sought and the high-profile nature of the individuals involved, a settlement may not be easily reached. The case will proceed through the court system with various legal filings, hearings, and potential motions that will shape its trajectory. The broader implications of this situation for Shannon Sharpe extend beyond the immediate legal battle. His public image, a carefully cultivated brand built on his athletic achievements, media success, and engaging personality, is now intertwined with these serious allegations. Regardless of the legal outcome, the accusations themselves can have a lasting impact on public perception and future career opportunities. Sharpe has built a considerable following across various platforms, and his ability to connect with audiences is a key part of his appeal. Navigating this crisis while maintaining the trust and support of his fan base will be a significant challenge. His decision to temporarily step away from ESPN reflects an understanding that addressing the legal issues is paramount, and that the intensity of the situation might make it difficult to continue his regular media appearances without distraction or without the situation overshadowing the content. While he plans to return for the NFL preseason, the timeline and circumstances of that return could depend on the progress and status of the lawsuit. The world of sports media is highly competitive, and while Sharpe is a major figure, any prolonged absence or negative impact on his public standing could have long-term consequences for his career trajectory. His independent ventures, such as Club Shay Shay, also face scrutiny, as guests and sponsors may consider the public perception surrounding the allegations. However, his established reputation and loyal following could also provide a degree of resilience. Many public figures have faced legal challenges and successfully navigated them, but the nature and severity of the allegations in this case present a formidable hurdle.
Sued Busby. Needless to say, the headlines this week took on a life of their own, and as a result, Shannon announced he was stepping away from ESPN. Here's a portion of Shannon's statement that he posted on social media. Quote, "I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I have received from my family, fans, friends, and colleagues," end quote. It's been a difficult week from a sports media perspective, certainly as it pertains to First Take. Shannon Sharpe became a friend. When I recruited him to come on board on ESPN's First Take, he came on board and he did a sensational job. No matter the amount of success.
The situation is a stark reminder of how quickly circumstances can change for even the most prominent individuals, and how personal legal matters can intersect with and impact professional lives in the public eye. The timeline presented in the lawsuit, detailing alleged events from 2023 through early 2025, covers a period during which Shannon Sharpe was making significant transitions and achieving considerable success in his media career. The fact that the alleged incidents occurred during this time adds another layer of complexity to the narrative. These lawsuit's claims, if true, would represent a stark contrast to the public image Sharpe was projecting during this period of professional ascendancy. His move to ESPN and his integration into the First Take dynamic were widely covered and discussed. highlighting his continued relevance and appeal in the sports media landscape. The success of his podcast and other ventures further solidified his position as a multifaceted media entrepreneur. Now, these achievements are juxtaposed with the very serious allegations contained within the civil lawsuit. The case will likely involve a detailed examination of the timeline of the relationship and the alleged incidents within the context of Sharpe's professional activities during that period. The public will be watching closely as more details emerge through the legal process, attempting to reconcile the public persona with the private allegations. The legal battle is not just about the specific claims made in the lawsuit. It also involves a broader test of credibility and public trust. Sharpe's response, emphasizing the consensual nature of the relationship and portraying the lawsuit as a shakedown, indicates the direction his defense will take. By claiming the plaintiff is attempting to extort money, his team is suggesting a motive for the lawsuit that is unrelated to the truth of the allegations. This is a common defense strategy in civil cases where financial damages are sought. The alleged release of text messages by Sharpe's side is intended to bolster this defense by providing evidence that they claim supports their version of events. However, the plaintiff's legal team has also made public statements and reportedly released information, including audio from a phone call that they claim supports their allegations. This back and forth in the public sphere, even as the
Yes, we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did what you did to me.
Okay, now,
The legal case is just beginning, highlights the intense media interest and the efforts by both sides to influence public perception. The legal process will ultimately determine which version of events is found to be more credible based on the evidence presented in court. The stakes are incredibly high for both the plaintiff, who is seeking substantial damages and alleging significant harm, and for Sharpe, whose reputation, career, and finances are on the line. The temporary nature of Shannon Sharpe's departure from ESPN is a key detail in his announcement. By stating his intention to return at the start of the NFL preseason, he is signaling that he views this as a necessary pause to address the legal situation, not a permanent end to his time with the network. This also suggests a level of confidence that he will be able to navigate the legal challenges in a time frame that allows for his return to broadcasting. However, the reality of legal proceedings is that they can often be unpredictable in terms of duration. A complex civil lawsuit seeking $50 million could potentially take many months or even years to resolve, especially if it proceeds towards a trial. The timing of the NFL preseason return could therefore be contingent on the progress and status of the legal case. If the lawsuit remains ongoing and highly contentious as the preseason approaches, further decisions may need to be made regarding his return. For now, the focus is on the temporary absence and the reason behind it, the need to address the serious allegations made in the civil lawsuit. This period away from the daily demands of national television will presumably allow Sharpe and his legal team to fully concentrate on building his defense and responding to the claims. The lawsuit filed against Shannon Sharpe in Nevada is not the only legal challenge he has faced in recent years, involving allegations of a similar nature. Reports have also referenced a defamation lawsuit filed against him in New York in 2023 by another woman who also accused him of sexual assault. While the current Nevada lawsuit is the immediate focus of the latest news, the existence of a previous lawsuit involving similar allegations adds another dimension to the public discussion surrounding Sharpe. His representatives reportedly denied the allegations in the earlier defamation lawsuit as well. These legal entanglements underscore the
sexual encounter look non-consensual when it is, in fact, they say, consensual. And attempting to get ahead of this, his team also released a collection of extremely graphic text messages sent by Gabby to Shannon over the course of several months. And, I can't read any of them to you. Even if I could read them, I still wouldn't. They're very sexual. They are very graphic in nature. Gabby repeatedly says that she wants to be abused, wants to be choked, and she wants to have other things unspeakable
challenges Sharpe has been confronting away from his highly public professional life. Each legal case has its own specific details and legal standards, but the pattern of Facing such accusations highlights a troubling aspect of the current situation. The public and media will likely consider the totality of the information available as the cases proceed. As the civil lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe moves forward, it will involve various legal stages, including initial pleadings, discovery, potentially mediation or settlement conferences, and if no settlement is reached, a trial. The discovery phase is often extensive, involving the exchange of documents written, questions, interrogatories, and depositions where individuals involved in the case are questioned under oath by attorneys from the opposing side. This phase can be particularly revealing as evidence is gathered and witnesses are questioned. Both the plaintiff and the defendant will have the opportunity to present their evidence and arguments to the court. A judge or jury, depending on how the case proceeds, will ultimately be responsible for evaluating the evidence and determining whether the plaintiff has met the burden of proof to establish her claims. The legal process is designed to provide a framework for resolving disputes, but it can be a lengthy and emotionally charged experience for all parties involved. Shannon Sharpe's response, calling the lawsuit a shakedown, is a clear indication of his legal team's strategy to frame the case as financially motivated and the allegations as false. This narrative aims to undermine the plaintiff's credibility and portray her as someone seeking to exploit Sharpe's wealth and public profile. The release of alleged text messages, which Sharpe's side claims show a consensual relationship, is a tactic to provide tangible evidence supporting this defense. However, the plaintiff's legal team disputes this characterization and has presented their own account and evidence. The contrasting narratives highlight the fundamental disagreement over the nature of the relationship and the events that allegedly occurred. The court will be tasked with sifting through the competing claims and evidence to arrive at a determination. The public nature of the defendant ensures that every step of the legal process is likely to be subject to media coverage and public commentary, adding an extra layer of pressure to the proceedings.
I'm not by myself. I don't get to operate in any way that I want without having to worry about ramifications or repercussions. I always have to be concerned about that. So I'm challenged every day to come on the airwaves and think about the ramifications and repercussions of anything that I do. Constantly. And because of that, that's an additional guardrail to secure me from putting myself in a position that could jeopardize myself, my show, my brand, my family, the company that I work for, anything like that. Again, I'm not talking about Shannon right now. I'm talking about what people say when it comes to people like myself and others who unapologetically explain that we have people to answer.
Impact on Shannon Sharpe's career, even with a temporary leave from ESPN, is undeniable. His daily presence on First Take is a significant part of his public visibility and influence. His absence, even for a few months, changes the dynamic of the show and removes one of its key voices during a busy period in the sports calendar. While he plans to return, the circumstances surrounding his return will likely be shaped by the status of the lawsuit and the public perception at that time. If the legal case is still ongoing and highly publicized, his return to live television will likely be met with intense scrutiny and questions about the situation. ESPN, like any major media organization, will need to consider the potential impact on its programming and audience. Sharpe's independent ventures, like Club Shay Shay and Nightcap, offer him more control over the content and platform, but they are not immune to the broader public reaction to the lawsuit. His brand is built on his personality and credibility, and navigating these serious allegations while maintaining that brand will be a significant challenge. The support he mentioned receiving from family, friends, fans, and colleagues will likely be crucial as he navigates this difficult period. The duration of Shannon Sharpe's temporary leave from ESPN is stated as until the start of the NFL preseason. This provides a clear time frame for his planned return, assuming the legal situation allows. The NFL preseason typically begins in late July or early August, meaning his absence from ESPN could last for several months. During this time, he will presumably be focused on addressing the civil lawsuit and preparing his defense. The legal process can involve significant time and resources, requiring attention to detail and engagement with legal counsel. His decision to step away temporarily reflects the need to prioritize this serious personal and legal matter. The sports world will undoubtedly be anticipating his return and observing how the situation unfolds. The impact of the lawsuit on his long-term career will ultimately depend on the legal outcome and how he navigates the public perception surrounding the allegations. It is a challenging time for a figure who has achieved such remarkable success both on and off the field. The lawsuit is just beginning, and it will likely be some time before there is a
when he departed from Fox. Just the same way that I would say about any of my friends. That's what friends do, even in the toughest of times. Sometimes, especially the toughest of times. They ain't telling you you're right all the time. And hell, sometimes they may not stop you from falling into that abyss, but they're there to lift you up.
resolution. The legal process allows both sides to present their case, and a determination will be made based on the evidence and the law. It is important to remember that in the United States legal system, individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty, and the filing of a civil lawsuit is an allegation that must be proven in court. Shannon Sharpe has maintained his innocence and stated that the relationship was consensual. The case will proceed through the legal system, and more information will likely emerge as it does. The public will be following the developments closely, and the outcome will have significant implications for all parties involved. This developing story underscores the intense scrutiny faced by public figures and the complex challenges that can arise in their personal lives. Shannon Sharpe's journey from NFL star to media icon has been remarkable, but he now faces a formidable challenge that will test his resilience and determination. The coming months will be crucial as the legal process unfolds and he works to address the allegations made against him. The sports world and his many followers will be watching closely, hoping for clarity and resolution in a situation that has cast a considerable shadow. The temporary pause in his media career is a stark reminder of the gravity of the situation and the focus required to navigate such serious legal challenges. His planned return to ESPN in the NFL preseason provides a potential timeline for his re-emergence into the daily sports discourse. But the path between now and then will be defined by the legal proceedings and the efforts to address the allegations at the heart of the civil lawsuit. It's a situation that is still very much unfolding, with significant questions remaining about its ultimate outcome and long-term impact. The narrative surrounding Shannon Sharpe has taken a dramatic and unexpected turn, moving from the realm of sports commentary to the serious complexities of a civil legal battle. Stay informed on this developing story and other major news in the world of sports and beyond. Make sure you don't miss any updates. If you want to keep up with all the latest news, analysis, and insights, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be covering this story and all the biggest topics unfolding. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop.